December 20th, 2014, from FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. It was the Philadelphia Eagles at the Washington Redskins in this NFC East Division rivalry matchup. And the Eagles would get the ball first, and they would start off with their first possession on their own 24. They were then faced with a 3rd and 2 from the 32, and out of the no-huddle in the shotgun, Mark Sanchez hit the tight end Zach Ertz for a 5-yard reception and a first down at the 37. They were then faced with a 3rd and 12 from the 35. Still out of the no-huddle in the shotgun, Mark Sanchez went to Jeremy Maclin, this time for a 22-yard reception and a first down that brought the ball across midfield and into Washington territory at the 43. They were then faced with a 3rd and 14 from the Washington 47, and Sanchez dropped back out of the no-huddle in the shotgun. He was sacked by Ryan Kerrigan. Kerrigan forced the fumble, and Kerrigan recovered it. So now the Redskins would take over at midfield in Philly territory on the 47 with less than 12 minutes on the clock in the first. They were faced with a 2nd and 3 from the 40, and RG3 hit DeSean Jackson for a 7-yard reception and a first down at the Philly 33. They were then faced with a 3rd and 7 on the 30, and Robert Griffin III hit Roberts for a 14-yard reception and a first down that brought the ball into the red zone at the Philadelphia 16. Then on 3rd and 9 from the 15, an incomplete pass but unnecessary roughness against the Eagles would make it 1st and goal on the 8 for the Redskins. They failed to get into the end zone, and out would come Kai Forbath to attempt a 25-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, and Washington put the first points on the scoreboard with the score Washington 3, Philadelphia 0. So now the Eagles would take over with 6 minutes left in the first. They had the ball on their own 21 for their second possession of this game. They were faced with a 3rd and 4 on their own 27. And out of the no-huddle in the shotgun, Sanchez threw an incomplete pass, but an illegal use of the hands against Washington would make it a first down for the Eagles on their own 32. Then on 2nd and 8 from the 34, Sanchez went to shady LeSean McCoy for an 18-yard reception, a first down that brought the ball into Washington territory at the 48. Then on 2nd and 3 from the 41, Sanchez went to Zach Ertz for a 7-yard reception and a first down that brought the ball to the 34. And then McCoy ran for 10 yards and made a first down on the 24. And on 2nd and 12 from the 16, McCoy ran for 5 yards and a first down that brought the ball to the 11. And then he ran for another 11 yards all the way into the end zone for the touchdown to get the first touchdown of this game and give the Eagles the lead with the score Philadelphia 7, Washington 3. So now Washington would take over with less than 2 minutes left in the first quarter. They had the ball on their own 20. They were faced with a 2nd and 9 on the 21, and RG3 went to DeSean Jackson, and he picked up 51 yards and a first down on the Philadelphia 28. So now first down, they handed it to Alfred Morris out of the shotgun, and he took it all the way to the end zone for the 28-yard touchdown run to give the Redskins the lead, as it was now Washington 10, Philadelphia 7. So now the Eagles would get the ball on their own 20 with just a few seconds left in the first. They would end up bringing the first quarter to a close on 2nd and 10 from the 20 when Sanchez hit Maclin for a 6-yard reception. And so now the first quarter came to a close with the score Washington 10, Philadelphia 7. So now to begin the second quarter, the Eagles had the ball on their own 26. It was 3rd and 4. Now the shotgun, Sanchez dropped back and he was sacked by Jeffcoat for a 2-yard loss. And out came the punting units. The Eagles went 3 and out on the possession, and they were punted from the 24. So now the Redskins would take over on their own 42 with about a little over 14 minutes still left in the second quarter. They did pick up a first down, but they would end up punting from the Philadelphia 41. As RG3 ended up being sacked by Kendricks during the possession. And so they ended up punting from the 41, and now the Eagles would take over on their own 7-yard line with less than 11 minutes left in the second quarter. They'd be faced with a 2nd and 6 from the 11. Sanchez then went to Jordan Matthews. He picked up 10 yards and a first down at the 21. And then LeSean McCoy picked up 22 yards and a first down as he ran to the 43. And then Darren Sproles picked up 12 on a run to the 45 of Washington as he brought the ball across midfield. But then a holding penalty brought them back the other way as they are now back in their own territory. But then on 3rd and 25 from the Philadelphia 40, Mark Sanchez hit Jordan Matthews for a 26-yard reception and a first down on the Washington 34. They were then faced with a 3rd and 16 from the 40, and Sanchez went to Sproles and he picked up 18 and a first down on the 22. Then on 2nd and 4 from the 16, Sproles ran for 8 yards and a first down that made it 1st and goal on the 8. And then McCoy ran for 5 yards. And now on 2nd and goal from the 3, an incomplete pass would make it 3rd and goal from the 3, and Sanchez went to Riley Cooper on a slant for a 3-yard touchdown pass as the Eagles took back the lead with the score now Philadelphia 14, Washington 10. So Darren Sproles came up with some clutch plays on that possession. And so now Washington would take over with about 3.5 minutes left in the second quarter with the ball on their own 27. And they would end up going 3 and out and punting from their own 34. So now the Eagles would get the ball on their own 17 after the punt with less than 2 minutes left in the first half. They'd be faced with a 2nd and 4 from the 23. Sanchez went to Riley Cooper. He picked up 13 yards in the first down, but there was a holding penalty. There ended up being a penalty of illegal use of the hands as well, so it was offsetting penalties. So it was a first down on the 33. Then on 2nd and 3, they ended up, well, first they got a 7-yard pass, and then they got a 4-yard pass that made it a first down. And they got a 10-yard pass, Sanchez to Ertz. All this to Ertz. It was just Sanchez to Ertz, Sanchez to Ertz. And then it was first down on the Philly 44. And then Sanchez went to Macklin for a 16-yard reception. And now they were in Washington territory. But they weren't able to end up getting into field goal range. And they would end up taking a delay of game penalty on 4th down to move them backwards as they had already decided to punt. And they would punt the ball to the Redskins, and the Redskins would just end up taking a knee, and the first half came to a close. So it's back and forth in the first half as these two teams kept trading the lead, as Washington jumped out first with that early field goal, and then Philadelphia got a touchdown to take the lead, then Washington got a touchdown, and then Philly got a touchdown. And at halftime, the score was Philadelphia 14, Washington 10. So now to begin the third quarter, the Eagles would kick off, and on the kickoff, Jenkins fumbled and Carroll recovered, and so the Eagles would get the ball in the red zone to begin their first possession of the second half. And so they had it on the 16 of Washington. They weren't able to get anywhere though, and out would come Cody Parkey to attempt a 34-yard field goal, and it was up and it was no good. So it was no good, and the score remained Philadelphia 14, Washington 10. So the Redskins would take over with about 13.5 minutes left in the third quarter. They had the ball on their own 24 after the missed field goal, and on first down, RG3 hit DeSean Jackson for a 13-yard reception, a first down at the 37. Then on 2nd and 5 from the 42, Alfred Morris picked up 5 yards in the first down. He picked up 5 yards on the run right before that too. So now it's first down on the 47 for the Redskins. RG3 picked up 7 yards on a scramble. Then Red picked up 4 yards on a run, and it was now first down in Philadelphia territory for Washington on the Philly 42. They were then faced with a 2nd and 7 from the 39. Robert Griffin III hit Pierre Garcon for a 17-yard reception, a first down that brought the ball to the Philadelphia 22. Then on 3rd and 4 from the 16, ended up being a roughing the passer call against the Eagles. And so now it'd be first and goal on the 8 for the Redskins. A delay a game pushed them back. And then they'd be faced with a 2nd and goal from the 12. And Robert Griffin III hit Pierre Garcon for a 9-yard reception, and a roughing the passer call would make it a first and goal on the 1. And they handed it off to the fullback, Young, and he got the 1-yard touchdown as they tricked the defense. They thought they were going to Alfred Morris, but instead they gave it to the fullback, and he snuck in. And now the Redskins were back in the lead for the third time in this game, with the score now Washington 17, Philadelphia 14. So now the Eagles would take over with less than 7 minutes left in the third. They had the ball on their own 20. They'd be faced with a 3rd and 7 from the 23, and out of the no huddle in the shotgun, Mark Sanchez hit the tight end Zach Ertz for an 11-yard reception, a first down that brought the ball to the 34. They were then faced with a 3rd and 3 from the 41. Sanchez went to Jordan Matthews. He picked up 22 yards and a first down that brought the ball across midfield and into Washington territory at the 37. Their drive would end up stalling, though, on the 28. On 4th and 1, they would bring out Cody Parkey to attempt a 46-yard field goal. It was up, and it was no good as he missed it wide right for the second time. And the score remained Washington 17, Philadelphia 14. So the Eagles missed a chance to tie the game. And so now the Redskins would take over after the kickoff, or after the missed field goal, rather, on their own 36. They're faced with a 2nd and 14. After they had a fumble on first down, but they were able to recover. It was a mishap on the snap. So 2nd and 14, Robert Griffin III to DeSean Jackson for a 55-yard pass. As DeSean Jackson made a nice adjustment with the ball in the air, and he caught it for the 55-yard reception that made a first down for Washington in Philadelphia territory in the red zone on the 13-yard line. And then on 2nd and 8 from the 11, a pass interference call against the Eagles would make it 1st and goal on the 1. And once again, they gave it to the fullback Young as he snuck it in there. The defense was looking for Morris, but instead, boom, there's Young sneaking into the end zone for the 1-yard touchdown run as the Redskins extended their lead to 10 points with the score now Washington 24, Philadelphia 14. And now the Eagles would end up taking over on their own 15-yard line after they ended up getting a holding penalty on the kickoff. So on first down, Mark Sanchez hit Riley Cooper for a 16-yard reception, a first down that brought the ball to the 31 as the third quarter came to a close. So after 3 quarters of play, the score was Washington 24, Philadelphia 14. So now to begin the fourth quarter, the Eagles had the ball on their own 31. It was 1st and 10. They ended up moving backwards with a holding penalty. And then they were faced with a 3rd and 2 from the 39. And shady LeSean McCoy picked up 6 yards in the first down as he brought the ball to the 45. And then Sanchez ended up hitting Ertz for a 9-yard pass and a first down that brought the ball to the Washington 38. They were faced with a 2nd and 6 from the 34, and Sanchez went back to Ertz, this time for a 16-yard reception. It was now a first down in the red zone. And then on 3rd and 8 from the 16, Mark Sanchez hit Riley Cooper for a 16-yard touchdown pass that brought the game to within 3 points with the score now Washington 24, Philadelphia 21. So the Eagles on their right in the beginning of the fourth quarter made it a 3-point game as they closed the gap. And now the Redskins had the ball after the kickoff on their own 17 with about 10.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Then on 3rd and 10, Robert Griffin III out of the shotgun is intercepted by Nate Allen. And so now the Eagles would take over on their own 46 with a little over 9 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter. Then on 2nd and 10 from the 46, Sanchez hit LeSean McCoy for an 11-yard reception that made a first down at the 43. Sanchez then went to Brent Selleck. He picked up 15 yards, the first down at the 28. Then on 2nd and 8 from the 26, Sanchez went to Jeremy Maclin. He picked up 18 yards in the first down that made a 1st and goal on the 8. Then on 2nd and goal from the 8, Sanchez with the Zach Ertz. He picked up 4. They wouldn't end up getting in the end zone, and Cody Parkey would come out to attempt a 22-yard field goal, and it was up and it was good, and this game was tied at 24 apiece as Parkey hit his first field goal of the game after missing a pair. So now the Redskins would take over on their own 35 after the kickoff. They had a 42-yard return, and that put him on the 35 because he was in the end zone to begin the return. And so then they were faced with a 3rd and 2 on the 43. Robert Griffin III hit Jordan Reed. He picked up 4 yards in the first down, brought the ball to the 47, but their drive would stall on the 45. They ended up going backwards, and they would punt the ball from the 45. And so now the Eagles would take over with 2.5 minutes left to play in this game. The game tied up at 24. The ball on their own 15. Then on 2nd and 1 from the 24, Sanchez hit Ertz for a 5-yard pass, and that brought it to the 29. He then went back to Ertz for a 6-yard pass to bring the ball to the 35. It was 2nd and 4. Sanchez went back to Ertz for a 3rd pass in a row. This one an 11-yard reception that made it a first down on the 46 as the Redskins took their first timeout of the second half. So it's 1st and 10 on the 46, and an incomplete pass would bring up 2nd down. Sanchez then went back to Ertz, this time for a 6-yard reception. And now on 3rd and 4 from the 48, Sanchez out of the no-huddle in the shotgun. He's intercepted by Breland as Breland comes up with a huge play, and Sanchez just crumbles right when they needed him the most, makes the big mistake. And now Washington had the ball with 1.5 minutes on the clock. The game tied at 24. The ball on the Washington 42. And on first down, RG3 hit Pierre Garcon for a 23-yard reception. And a roughing the passer the call against the Eagles. Combined made it a first down on the 20. The Philadelphia 24, Washington. And then a penalty against Connor Barwin, offsides. Now it was 1st and 5 on the 15. Alfred Morris then picked up a first down with a 7-yard run, and the Eagles took their first timeout. So now just over a minute left in this game. It was 1st and goal on the 8. Morris ran for 2 yards, and the Eagles took their second timeout. Then on 2nd and 6 from the 6, Morris then ran for another yard, and the Eagles took their final timeout. So now it was 3rd and goal on the 5, but a false start against the Redskins, and that would make it 3rd and goal on the 10. Morris picked up 2 as they positioned the ball for the field goal and the win. They took their second timeout, just 10 seconds on the clock. Kai Forbath comes out to attempt a 26-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, and the Redskins now are in the lead by 3 with the score Washington 27, Philadelphia 24. So now the Eagles would get the ball, but on the kickoff, Kai Forbath, he kind of I don't know what he was doing. He screwed up. It looked like he was trying to kick the ball deep, but somehow the ball just kind of puttered under his foot, and it ended up with the Eagles on the ball at the 50-yard line. So the Eagles had the ball right there on their own 50-yard line after the botched kick by Forbath. At least I think he screwed it up. That's how it looked to me. I can't believe he would have done that on purpose. So now it's 1st and 10 on the 50 with the Eagles having one last chance with just 3 seconds left on the clock, needing to get it to 50 yards to the end zone. 2 yards to kick a field goal, as it would have been a 67-yard field goal attempt. And so the Washington Redskins took their final timeout to try to ice Sanchez. And so out of the shotgun, 3 seconds left. Sanchez scrambles around under pressure, avoiding the sack, scrambling around, avoiding the pressure, comes up to the line, tosses the ball up in the air, and it's swatted down. Emerson batted it down. He did the right thing. He bats it down, and the Redskins upset the Eagles to hand the Philadelphia Eagles their 3rd loss in a row and possibly ending their playoff chances, as if the Cowboys win tomorrow against the Colts, then Philadelphia will be eliminated. Of course, that remains to be seen. That is kind of a tall order, and the Eagles are going to be rooting for Indianapolis tomorrow. But in this game, the final score, Washington 27, Philadelphia 24, and with the win, the Redskins have now surpassed their win total from 2013, as they now have 4 wins on the season. They're 4-11, 3-4 at home, with a chance to actually be 500 at home if they can pick up a win in Week 17. And the Eagles are now 9-6 on the season. With the loss, they're 3-4 on the road on the season. And in this game, Robert Griffin III was 16 for 23 with 220 yards passing and an interception. He had 5 carries for 11 yards rushing. Mark Sanchez was 37 for 50 with 374 yards passing, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. He also had 22 yards rushing off of 5 carries. The leading rusher in the game was LeSean Shady McCoy. He had 22 carries for 88 yards and a touchdown. Alfred Morris had 21 carries and 83 yards and 1 touchdown for the Redskins. And McCoy also had 28 yards receiving off of 3 receptions. And the leading receiver in the game was DeSean Jackson of Washington. He had 4 receptions for 126 yards against his former team. He used to be an Eagle, But he's on the Redskins now, and he kind of did some damage for sure, putting them in position to win this game. Zach Ertz was the leading receiver for the Eagles. Their tight end had 15 receptions for 115 yards in this game. And for the Eagles, Jeremy Maclin had 4 receptions for 62 yards. Jordan Matthews had 3 receptions for 58 yards. Riley Cooper had 5 receptions for 53 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Sproles had 6 receptions for 43 yards, along with 24 rushing yards off of 4 carries. And for Washington, Pierre Garcon had 4 receptions for 61 yards. So Eagles put up huge numbers on offense, but Washington finds a way to win it. And on defense, the leading tackler in this game, it was actually a 2-way tie for the Redskins. Ryan Clark and Will Compton both had 15 tackles apiece. So they're tackling machines over there on that Redskins defense. Perry Riley Jr. also had 12 tackles as well. And the leading tackler for Philadelphia was Michael Kendricks. He had 10 tackles. He also had a sack. And the Redskins had 3 sacks. The Eagles had 2 sacks. The 3 sacks for the Redskins, it was Kerrigan, Williams, and Jeffcoat. They each had 1 sack. And for the Eagles, Fletcher Cox, and Michael Kendricks, as we said, they each had 1 sack. And each team had an interception. Nate Allen had an interception. And for the Redskins, the interception that really won the game, Bashad Breeland comes up with that big pick. And that was really the only mistake that Sanchez made all game. I mean, he had 374 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, but that late interception made the difference. And those 2 missed field goals by Cody Parkey. And in the end, it's Kai Forbath who kicks the game winner. And the final score, Washington 27, Philadelphia 24.